Bueno, welcome, bienvenidas. Los que mueren por la vida no pueden llamarse muertos. Those who die for life are not dead. Today we stand on unceded indigenous land in the homeland of the Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the genocide and continued displacement of indigenous peoples from the colonial era to the present. The island of Mannahatta in Lenape-Hocking has and continues to be the gathering place for indigenous peoples. New York is the city with the largest indigenous population in the United States. Today, these communities continue to contribute to the life of the city, and we celebrate their heritage, practices, traditions, and care for the sacred land and waterways. We acknowledge today Lenape communities, including the Lenape people who belong to the Delaware Nation and the Delaware Tribe of Indiansin in Oklahoma, the Stockbridge-Muncie community in Wisconsin, and the Muncie Delaware Nation, Moravian of the Thames First Nation, and Delaware of Six Nations in Ontario. We also acknowledge the largest and most hard-hit environmental frontline happening right now in Turtle Island, US, the Stop Line 3 movement in the headwaters of the Mississippi River in Minnesota, where Anishinaabe women, amongst others, are leading the resistance to stop the construction of Enbridge Line 3 tar sands pipeline across their territories and sacred wild rice fields. We rally with them, so please say with me, stop Line 3, stop Line 3, stop Line 3, stop Line 3, stop Line 3.
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 We can drink oil, right? Today we gather to honor killed environmentalists worldwide. For the last 5 years, each year becomes a record for being the most dangerous year for environmental activists. Only last year, 2020, 227 were reported, according to the Global Witness report that came out past Monday. But the belief is that the number is higher, as some cases are not counted due to repression and censorship. I want to highlight an important aspect brought forward by the Global Witness report. It might feel morbid to count and analyze these deaths, to hear the felt testimonials we're about to experience. But it's important to understand what connects these cases. As the climate crisis intensifies, so too does the impact on people, including on land and environmental defenders. This data on lethal attacks can be understood as another climate metric, in step with these other more familiar data sets: extinction of species, melting of ice, fires, ocean temperatures. The core truths about violence against land and against environmental defenders mirror what we know about the climate crisis itself. 1, its impacts are unequal. 2, business is responsible. And 3, governments are both causing and failing to prevent it. I hope this temporary space we are building together contributes to the construction of environmental memory that is the first step towards the non-repetition of violence, and brings a little bit of healing, a little awakening, a little transformation within us. As Berta Cáceres said, "Despierta humanidad, ya no hay tiempo. Wake up, humanity. There's no more time." So the dynamics is that we received a number of testimonies in audio from the front lines. We're going to play them in the original language, Spanish and Portuguese. And then we have someone in solidarity who will read the translation in English. So we're going to start with Claudia Gerena's testimony, a woman from the Defensores del Río Sogamoso y Chucurí de Ríos Vivos, Colombia.
El movimiento social en defensa de los ríos Sogamoso y Chucurí, articulados al movimiento Ríos Vivos en Colombia, le apostamos a la construcción de paz con justicia social y ambiental en un país donde hablar de paz y derechos es sinónimo de que otros se crean con el derecho de amenazar, asesinar, desaparecer, estigmatizar y criminalizar, por hacer oír nuestras voces, donde las han querido callar. Una cruz que se empieza a llevar por exigir justicia, verdad y dignidad. Defender y cuidar la vida es un acto revolucionario que muchas veces nos cuesta la vida misma. A pesar del dolor y la tristeza por la pérdida de amigos conocidos y líderes, pérdidas que también extinguen ecosistemas y otras especies, y que en nuestros territorios nos han puesto en agonía los ríos Sogamoso y Chucurí. Una agonía que es constante, porque ya no fluyen sus aguas. Es ahí donde la memoria de sus corrientes y chorros y en sus riberas nos hemos venido juntando y aprendiendo a tejer juntas desde nuestros territorios. En esta juntanza hemos encontrado los caminos para ir hilando reconciliación, sanación, transformación y paz. Es ahí donde al mirarnos a los ojos podemos sentir y pensar en lo que somos, en lo que vemos en el otro, sin olvidar los que ya hoy no están físicamente, pero sí permanece su legado en la resistencia por el cuidado de la vida. Al encender y abrazar la luz con esta vela en la vigilia, enviamos nuestras energías y pensamientos para fortalecer el don de la palabra, la armonía, la tolerancia y el diálogo, como prácticas que fortalezcan las sociedades y nos lleven a tejer autonomías y la libre determinación de los pueblos para fortalecer la democracia. Requerimos una construcción de paz donde se nos garantice el respeto a la vida y los derechos de la naturaleza humana y no humana, donde se nos garantice el acceso a la tierra, el agua, la justicia y nos devuelvan los ríos vivos y libres. Por los líderes comunales, campesinos y populares, encendemos las brasas que nos permitan renacer en solidaridad, unidad y amor por un mundo mejor. Enciende una vela por Luis Arango, asesinado el 12 de febrero del 2009 en Barranca Bermeja. Enciende una vela por Eber Cárdenas, asesinado el 15 de mayo del 2009. Enciende una vela por Marco Tulio Salamanca, asesinado el 3 de septiembre de 2009 en Girón, Santander. Enciende una vela por Honorio Llorente, asesinado el 17 de octubre del 2009 en Puente Sogamoso, municipio de Puerto Wilches. Enciende una vela por Jairo Rodríguez Caro, asesinado el 13 de abril del 2011 en Girón. Enciende una vela por Miguel Ángel Pavón Pavón, desaparecido el 31 de octubre del 2012. Enciende una vela por Armando Caballero Toscano, asesinado el 7 de septiembre del 2014 en Sabana de Torres.
The social movement in defense of the Sogamoso and Chucurí rivers, articulated to the Ríos Vivos movement in Colombia, works on the construction of peace with social and environmental justice. In a country where talking about peace and rights is synonymous with others believing they have the right to threaten, murder, disappear, stigmatize, and criminalize. We lift our voices to be heard when they have tried to silence us, and we carry this cross for demanding justice, truth, and dignity. Defending and caring for life is a revolutionary act, even if it often costs us life itself. Despite the pain and sadness for the loss of friends, acquaintances, and leaders, losses that also extinguish ecosystems and other species. In our territory, the Sogamoso and Chucurí rivers are in agony, and agony that is constant because their waters no longer flow It is there in the memory of their currents, streams, and banks, where we gather and learn to weave together from our territories. In this gathering, we have found the paths to be thread, reconciliation, healing, transformation, and peace. It is by looking into each other's eyes where we can feel and think about what we are, what we see in each other, without forgetting those who are no longer physically here today, but whose legacy remains in the resistance and care for life. By lighting and embracing the light with this candle individual, we send our energies and thoughts to strengthen the gift of words, harmony, tolerance, and dialogue as practices that strengthen societies and lead us to weave autonomy and self-determination of peoples affirming democracy. We require a construction of peace where we are guaranteed respect for life and the rights of human, non-human nature, where we are guaranteed access to land, water, justice, and the return of our living rivers. For the community, peasant, and popular leaders, we light the flares that allow us to be reborn in solidarity, unity, and love for a better world. I light a candle for Luis Aragon, President of the Association of Fisher Folk of El Llanito, Barranca Bermeja, assassinated on February 12, 2009. Ever Cardenas, President of the Association of Sand Workers of the Rio Sogamoso, assassinated May 15, 2009. Marco Tulio Salamanca, President of the Community Action Committee of Vereda Marta, Girón, Santander, assassinated September 3, 2009. Honorio Llorente, President of the Community Action Committee of Puente Sogamoso, Municipality of Puerto Wilches, assassinated October 17, 2009. Jairo Rodriguez Caro, member and leader of the community of Marta Girón, assassinated April 13, 2011. Miguel Ángel Pavón, President of the Community Action Committee of Los Ocasios in San Vicente de Chocuri, disappeared October 31, 2012. Armando Caballero Toscano, assassinated September 7, 2014, from the Vereda San Luis de Rio Sucio, Sabana de Torres.
Dilma Ferreira Silva. Presente, presente, presente. Dilma Ferreira Silva. Presente, presente, presente. Dilma Ferreira Silva. Presente, 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 Brandon Lee, presente, 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 Brandon Lee, presente, 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 Miguel Ángel Pavón Pavón, presente, 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 Niciña, presente, presente, presente.